Let's get to the big three.
Number 3.
Russia has not changed its position compared to the understandings reached during the extensive negotiations between Putin and Trump in Alaska.
Yeah, you go. Trump, Putin, too, on hold as Rubio and Lavrov have talks, and it shows this would be a waste of time for President Trump. I say give them the tomahawks, blast them with the Senate sanctions, and then let Ukraine win.
Number 2.
I'd love to meet with them. I just want them to open up the country first. I would like to meet with both of them, but I set one little caveat. I will only meet if they let the country open. They have to let the country open.
Shut down now at 4 weeks and counting as Dem leaders reach out directly to Trump on Tuesday to make a deal. Trump has made it clear, as you just heard, open the government first.
Number 1.
Hey, New Jersey. This is Barack Obama, and I want to talk to you about my friend Mikey Sherrill.
Really?
Mikey is a mom who will drive down costs for New Jersey families.
I can't wait to hear that spot ends. Now it's getting interesting. Virginia and New Jersey gubernatorial candidates bring out the big guns as they watch their commanding leads shrink to single digits and maybe in the margin of error. We look at who's getting what, and why the DNC is now writing a $500,000 check to try to save the day and the election. And we preview tonight's debate in New York City. In terms of it being a national story, I think it is. Zohran Mamdani up by about 12 points in most polls, and Cuomo, then Sliwa, last debate tonight. Now, Mollie, I know you're just visiting New York. You're a Washington woman, a woman of the Washington region. But your thoughts about the national interest on this debate?
On the Mamdani debate?
Is that what you're calling it now? You mean the New York City mayoral debate?
It does seem like he has. A lot of people think that he will be able to pull it out, and I think there's reason for that. There's national interest because New York City is such an important place for the country, and having a city that's run well is something that matters to all Americans. And do you think that he has the skill set to run our city well? I think that it's a huge threat if he were to get in, and I hope that, and he's odds-on favorite right now to win. I hope that people are prepared to thwart whatever he wants to do that might violate the civil rights of New Yorkers or threaten the financial industry. There are means to fight this if there are illegal or unconstitutional things he's doing, and I think people should be prepping for that.
Right, but instead of building, you're going to be fighting to keep an equilibrium that we need to improve on.
But New York City is worth fighting.
So one of your favorite shows you opened up to me, and I hope I'm not breaking your confidence, is Special Report. Am I right, Mollie?
It's true.
Right, so I don't want to put you in an awkward spot. Andrew Cuomo was on Special Report last night, and he knows time's running out. Cut 5.
There is no doubt that he is a socialist. And there is an enthusiasm, especially among young people, for the socialist philosophy. His policies, he's anti-business as we know it, anti-corporation, anti-wealth, anti-police, anti-Semitic policies, pro-Gaza, pro-Palestine. This is very popular on the far, far left of the Democratic Party. There is no doubt.
There is no doubt that there's a lot on the line, too, as the disgraced governor tries to become the not-so-disgraced mayor. Will he be able to close the gap? That's why Bret Baier came to New York City. He wanted to hear remotely, because Andrew Cuomo was not in studio, directly from him. And this is the same Bret Baier who just one day ago put out to rescue the American spirit, Teddy Roosevelt, and the birth of a superpower. It's a special, by the way, for your visual pleasure on Fox Nation right now. Welcome back, Bret.
Thank you. 2 days in a row. I'm really...
I mean, if you consider that I was a finalist to be on your panel at the last minute, I got the starting spot.
Yeah.
And now today is 3. Is 3 appearances in 2 days.
It's shocking.
But again,
Mollie, great to see you.
Good to see you.
But it shouldn't be about me. It should really be about the mayoral debate tonight.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fireworks, though.
I think, Cuomo... I'm not sure that the answers deliver. He can't really explain why, if it's so dangerous, why Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries haven't endorsed him. Or he can't explain why Curtis Sliwa should get out of the race, and yet he's trailing, even if he's out of the race, significantly. Is there time? Yes. Could something happen tonight that changes the dynamic? Yes. Most likely, is it going to? Probably not.
But also, he's had months to tear down this other candidate, Mamdani, he could have increased his negatives throughout the summer, and he hasn't really landed a punch the entire time.
He doesn't do much work. He doesn't do much campaigning.
It seems tired, doesn't it? It seems tired.
Well, he just I can't believe this guy's winning. I thought I should have won by now. He thought, I'm going to sprint, win the primary. I'll beat Sliwa in the general. It's going to be easy. Then I'll take over. But here's the thing that you asked and nobody asked. You said, why didn't Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries actually endorse you? We're asking the question, why didn't they endorse the Democratic nominee? And they're still considering it. We have to have another conversation because they know that if this becomes if he becomes the hottest politician leading to the midterms, Republicans will thrive in that.
100%. There will be a lot of Republicans in purple states that say, thank you, Mamdani, because it'll be the albatross that they try to put around the Democratic candidate's neck in whatever race they're following.
But again, nobody should want this for a city that is as important as New York. And even if it would be good for Republicans, if they could say the Democrat Party has become so extreme that they're openly electing people like this socialist who hates the cops, who's anti-Semitic, all these things, it's just something we can't afford as a country because our cities are what make us great, too.
And by the way, people say, well, the mayor's not going to have this power. But if he wins by 20, and that is a left-wing assembly in Albany, they're going to say, I'm going to go along with this guy. The problem was Eric Adams, who tend to be moderate. They didn't like the moderate. But if you get a left-winger up there, they'll go, yeah, I'll up taxes. That'll be fine. And the governor, who's scared to death to lose to Elise Stefanik, will probably go, yeah, I'm going to go on with this because I can't lose my Democratic base.
The governor but that's why she endorsed him in the first place, because she was worried about a primary challenge herself. Right. She knows that the left of her party has become rabid.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good thing for New York. I'm just saying that that's how Republicans look at it. If you mean to tell me Elise Stefanik is not looking at this race saying this could be a different thing.
Why do you think that affects her against Hochul?
Because it will be the party, the Democratic Party, the focus, the oxygen coming out will be a lot of what's happening here if he's mayor.
I think New Yorkers will be more likely to counter the extremist mayor with a Republican governor as opposed to a moderate mayor who that Eric Adams was looked at as a moderate mayor, even though many people think incompetent. But I would take Eric Adams over the whole field.
I also wonder if Mamdani gets in, if he won't be counseled by Democrats to moderate his position somewhat, lest he destroy the entire party.
Little Al Michaels, lest. You know, that Al Michaels, I see OJ. But I would say a couple of things. I don't think he can be controlled. I think he's got a mission. And if he was going to be controlled, he would have moderated a lot of his mission. Oh, yeah, sorry I wrote that thing about George Floyd. I love the cops and have a big press conference with it, but instead he gets pushed into it by Martha McCallum to apologize, globalize the Intifada. I don't see anything wrong with that. It took him 3 interviews to walk that back.
Or Hamas put the weapons down. It was 2 different answers, Martha's answer and then the answer on the debate stage.
Yeah. So to me, if he was going to moderate, this is as moderate as we're going to see him. Now, I thought yesterday was so telling because yesterday Canal Street is famous for these knockoffs, these ripoffs that China mostly puts out of these handbags and different products, and ICE raided them. They're run by illegal immigrants. This is a counterfeiting operation. ICE is doing what they're supposed to be doing. And New Yorkers came out to fight ICE, which is horrific, and then Mamdani came out to call out ICE. This is candidate Mamdani. Can you imagine Mayor Mamdani? He's going to be Pritzker 2.0.
Well, there are a lot of Democrat mayors who are doing this as well in Chicago and Portland. The idea that they have, I totally understand that cities and states and the federal government have different competing interests, but it's pretty clear that immigration is a federal responsibility. And the idea that they would fight against a proper federal role, it is the kind of thing that could lead to a great deal of conflict.
You know,
by the way, that leaves me to a tease. I have a interview with Illinois Governor Pritzker in D.C. tomorrow on set on Special Report.
That is fantastic.
So you talk about a governor who's out there aggressively pushing back on ICE and talking about Trump.
Call them thugs.
Yeah, there's a lot to ask the governor of Illinois.
How hard was it to get that interview?
We've been trying for a long time.
And what do you think the reason that he gave in?
I don't know. I didn't promise we were going to talk about anything specific. He's going to be in D.C.
So I saw a poll that has Newsom in second, Kamala Harris is in first, and with 8% of the vote, I think it was, if I remember correctly, Newsom had 23, or Harris had 23, Newsom had 13, and Pritzker had 8% of the vote. I know how early it is, but he considers himself a presidential candidate. Is there any question?
No, not at all. I mean, I think he's in the game, and he's doing a lot of what he's doing to get national attention.
Do you know when I was going to do this segue, which I think is actually better than yours, Mollie, you know who the first police commissioner of New York was? Teddy Roosevelt. So he came in, made cops go to a mini academy, had him go into uniform. Get this, he insisted they not drink on the job. He was grabbing them out of the bars and bringing them and forcing them out, and bringing the press along. So when he did break down for find the illegal immigrant operations in sweatshops, he would bring the press so they'd write the stories, make him a hero, and they would work for everybody.
And he'd walk around New York at night with a long black jacket on, with a press reporter going from borough to borough.
Right. That is all part of the Teddy Roosevelt story that you're going to find to rescue the American spirit. Teddy Roosevelt and the birth of a superpower. If you're more visual of a person, go on Fox Nation. It dropped yesterday. It's a whole hour special. It'll give you an idea what you're going to get in the book. Back in a moment. Hey, we are back. Mollie Hemingway's here. Her body language says she's not happy, but she seems nice in the breaks. She's a Fox News contributor, editor-in-chief of The Federalist. Bret Baier is here, chief political anchor and special report. People are still buzzing about my appearance on the panel. I'm just talking about social media. I go on all the time with all the kids. They're also talking about your book, To Rescue the American Spirit, rocketing up the charts on Amazon. Soon we'll find out about the New York Times. Teddy Roosevelt and the birth of a superpower. I'll tell you, I did Teddy and Booker T. And your footage, you got so much more footage in your special than I got. How did you get the film stuff? Did you?
Yeah, we just dug in. We asked the archives to get stuff, and it was great. The hour is a great encapsulation of his life. The book, as you know, is kind of focused on his wish to be forward-leaning and have America lead the world, but it bounces back to how he gets to this point. The Booker T thing, I loved your book, and that moment when he hosts Booker T in the White House, he just fully doesn't realize how significant that dinner is and what it means beyond his conversation with Booker T.
And it ends up one person looked at the logs, Mollie, something you would do, and said Booker T. Washington had dinner with the family, and it ended up becoming this national disgrace. And I do it in the show, History, Liberty, and Laughs, that America's still buzzing about when I go on stage, and I reenact that moment, and then we put up the headlines from around the country. It is horrific. But here's the key. John McCain loses to Barack Obama, and he says it was a time when having a black man in a White House was a national scandal. Now, for dinner, now he'll be hosting that dinner. It shows America has made progress. A lot of people don't understand that we've made progress.
Well, it's also interesting how the left came to hate Teddy Roosevelt, even taking down his statue here in New York City.
Which is crazy.
Which is nuts.
Which is insane, not just because
in front of the Museum of Natural History, which he founded.
What he accomplished, but also his great ties to New York, as you pointed out.
Well, not only that, you can't put him in a box. I mean, he was conservative and Republican, but he was progressive. And there were some Republicans who had a real big problem with him. J.P. Morgan, others. He files 40 antitrust lawsuits as president. He fights the first labor dispute in a coal mining strike in 1902.
I just think that's a great point to highlight, too. A lot of people, they have a conception of the Republican Party that goes back to Reagan or maybe to Goldwater. But in fact, the Republican Party has had these streams throughout its history, including, with this progressive model that Teddy promoted.
And I'll bring you to today. So Teddy Roosevelt gets involved in the Japanese-Russia war, which you write about. But it's tilted towards Russia. And because of that, Japan has this hatred towards us. And many people think it laid the groundwork for Japan's anger towards us in the region that led them taking an aggressive stance against us, bombing Pearl Harbor in World War II. So it's how you stop a war has everything to do with how that war what happens after that war. That's what concerns me about Ukraine. I know it's easy to say, let's just stop killing. But if we don't stop it the right way, we've just postponed the next invasion.
Yeah, and I think there are real questions about what's going to happen next. I mean, the fact that Rubio and Lavrov talk and they canceled that meeting in Hungary, I think there is a battle inside the administration about next steps. And, there's all kinds of thoughts about what to do, but putting pressure on Russia seems like it's the thing that has worked most.
Mollie, your thoughts?
Just that this is a very difficult situation because there's no conventional way to win a war against Russia. I mean, they have incredible nuclear power. They have perfected the model of just throwing bodies at war. I mean, they just seem to have a low value for losing lives. They think that's a totally appropriate way to go. And so you have to have a strategy. And so as people want this to continue, they should lay out exactly how it is that continuing things will lead to a better situation. Although I totally agree that Trump and many people in the White House have seen that pressure needs to be applied on Putin.
Mollie, can I give you my scenario? They're going to aim for the infrastructure. They're already doing tremendous damage in they say a gas station. Russia's a gas station. That's all it is. Basically, it's their only industry. There's now long lines. People to get the utility costs are going through, long lines to get gas. And now if you give them the Tomahawk weapons, they'll do actual damage. And remember, they had nukes in Afghanistan, but nukes don't work in Afghanistan. And you're not going to use nuclear weapons. It's everything you're going to use is going to blow back in your own country. So nuclear weapons are not an issue in Ukraine. And they would have used them already. All they do is rattle the cages. As General Keane says, their army is bad and it's getting worse. They're going to Africa, begging people to fight in Africa for a country of 150 million. I mean, that's how pathetic they are because they're afraid of drafting people of means as kids because that's how they were forced to withdraw from Afghanistan.
They also have existential issues in play in needing access to water that need to be resolved. There's leverage that can be
They took
played.
Crimea. Then Obama said they had to give it back, and then he left.
Then they had a different time zone.
Right.
Within a few days.
Right. And I think Ukraine's doing a good job of blowing up that bridge over and over again.
Over and over.
So listen, where do we get the book?
Everywhere. You can get it everywhere. There was a little hitch with Amazon this week with the AWS. It's a bad timing for a book launch, but it doesn't affect sales. So go out and buy it. It's going to arrive when you order it. And we'll track it after it's all the sales are in.
And the good thing is when you get your events going, you love talking about this stuff.
I do.
So you bring it to life, and it's important. Year 250 to know about the figures that brought us here. Mollie, great to see you.
Great seeing
you.
you.
on Outnumbered?
Yes.
I thought so. I knew that. I'm your first stop. Are you on Outnumbered? You were on yesterday.
I was on yesterday.
What were you doing today?
Yeah, I'm just going to hang out.
All right, good. You're really dressed up. Back in a moment.
I got to see Joe Biden almost every day. And this is a question that I take very seriously. No one has ever said he hasn't aged. No one ever said that. He would make jokes about it. He would acknowledge it. And he would say, yes, I know I don't speak this as well as I used to. I don't walk as well as I used to. No one is saying that he didn't age. I'm talking about, did he have the question that I was getting, the mental acuity? Was he able to govern? And the man that I saw nearly every day was someone who was engaging, understood policy, and was always putting the American people first.
That is KJP selling her book, going on with that was Stephen Colbert's show, right? Yeah, so Stephen Colbert gave her a hard time, though. Carley Shimkus is now in studio. Carley, great to see you. Great job on Fox and Friends.
Oh, thank you.
But now Stephen Colbert really pushed her on this.
He did, and I have to say, Stephen Colbert was right. And you heard Karine Jean-Pierre make the argument. No one is saying this. No one is saying that. But she is. I mean, her whole point is that, from her perspective, Joe Biden was a strong leader. That was one of the things that she has to say. And that his mental acuity was up to par in being the president. And nobody, besides maybe the one person who applauded, and that applause didn't catch on, believes her. And Colbert was saying, you can't be serious about this, and really did push back on it in a way where he still maintained some sort of friendly nature to her. But yeah, I mean, Stephen Colbert in this instance, totally right. I don't even know if Karine Jean-Pierre believes what she's saying. I think she's just maybe trying to save face.
With who? Only the famed Biden family?
I guess herself for being a part of the administration, and having the ability to say, I wasn't lying at the time, and I'm going to write a book about it. And I do think that Joe Biden was probably very nice to her and a nice man, and she feels some loyalty to him.
Yeah, but you had to know the same thing we're finding out in the James Comer auto pen investigation, that nobody was seeing him. He was only working 4 hours a day. And that Stephen Colbert all of a sudden feels emboldened to ask tough questions. Really? Now? If he was going to finish out the string, didn't have a bad debate, or if there was zero debates, because he could say Donald Trump is a felon, I don't debate felons, he would have been going to bat for him, but yet seeing what we saw, the shuffling, the detachment, no press conferences, inability to answer questions, bad policies.
All you need to know is that he was only able to work outside of his nap times from, 8 to 4 p.m. as the president. And then you look at what Trump is doing. It's like a fire hose of everything under the sun, from peace deals to renovations to helping Jack Ciattarelli out in New Jersey. Having the baseball teams over at the White House this week.
Putting on a new ballroom. So here's more from KJP on Colbert, cut 39.
I don't think it was necessarily a betrayal of Joe Biden, as other people saying, we don't think we were shown the Joe Biden that you saw.
I saw every day a really ugly assault on someone who had 50 plus years of experience and who, again, objectively had done a good job as president of the United States. And it was heartbreaking to see that type of behavior.
Yeah, so her whole point is that she thinks that the media covered Joe Biden unfairly at the time, which is like, are you joking? Are you kidding me? And it's just, it's her. I don't know how much she really resonates right now. I don't think it's a whole lot, but I think that this is more a book that she's doing for her own maybe personal archives to say, I stood by what I said.
Kamala Harris wrote a book to make herself feel better, but she didn't alienate the Democratic Party. She alienated a lot of people that she's going to be going against, like Newsom and Whitmer.
Yeah.
And that's who she's going to be competing against. But this woman blew up her party, who knew she was bad. They tried to move her out to Angie's List, remember? And then she goes on and she's still selling the Biden story. But now she's selling to a bunch of people who are mad at Joe Biden for not stepping aside. They should be mad at themselves for not asking these tough questions. Here she is on The View, cut 40.
President Biden was one of the most decent people that I know. And he literally woke up every morning wanting to make this country better. We did everything that we could to defend her. And there were moments at the podium where I went viral for defending her. I knew how important it is for me to do that. And I will tell you, the president also wanted me to make sure that we were defending her.
So I'm sure talking about Kamala Harris there, right?
And you know Kamala Harris's big complaint? The White House never defended her.
There was a lot of tension between Kamala Harris as the vice president's office and the president's office. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
My goodness. So, I don't know. I mean, do people really care? I guess it's a little bit, the intrigue to me and hearing Karine Jean-Pierre now is just, you got to be kidding me. It's like one of the, you listen to these Stephen Colbert clips and he's saying, come on, like, you've got to be kidding me. And
but
to hear it from...
I feel like, Carl, you're giving Stephen Colbert a pass. This guy was covering, he literally he said he raised $23 million for Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. My goodness. If anyone doubted that, you lean left, you actually raise money.
I know, but that's just par for the course. I mean, with everybody.
But you raised money for the guy for $23 million, and you didn't know that he was shuffling, he was unable to speak, unable to ad lib. You didn't notice he wasn't holding press conferences, wasn't interacting with people, blatantly lied. No general told me but there would be danger to evacuating Afghanistan.
Yeah.
The Inflation Reduction Act was a big dupe. He had nothing to do with it. He said that it doesn't reduce inflation. He put one over on us. I don't know. I can't go along with the outrage because it's like a guy that's been exposed, and now you come out and go, yeah, this is bad. Very similar to Jake Tapper. Like,
without
Jake
question.
Tapper's book is full of interesting things. But you just say, how could you suddenly have a revelation in 4 weeks to put together a book that's out in 3 months that says everything that we've been saying?
Yeah, no, I guess my comments are less on Stephen Colbert and more just shock at what Karine Jean-Pierre is saying. And all that you said should be said back to her when she says that the media and the press didn't cover Joe Biden fairly.
Right. So listen, the last thing I want to play is she went after Caroline Leavitt, which is a joke. She said Caroline Leavitt shouldn't go online engaging reporters trying to so-called straighten them out. Really? Okay, cut 41.
They don't seem to understand, this is the Trump White House, that
they don't work for just one man.
Yeah.
They work for the American people.
Yeah.
It is about coming together about a common good.
Yeah.
The White House press secretary is not about doing online trolling.
Right.
It is not. It is an honor and a privilege to have that job.
So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, it's just you look at how Karine Jean-Pierre handled herself at the podium, and even media, the press, were getting very frustrated because she never answered any questions. She would just continue to say, as I've said before, we've been very clear. You remember her going through the binder, and we all lived through it. I think that Caroline Leavitt does a very good job. She's very read in. She also has I think that President Trump gives her the ability to speak, so she feels comfortable asking questions without breaking any news that she shouldn't. So, I mean, obviously, it's a different administration. It's a Democrat versus Republican, so there's always going to be something there. But I do think that usually press secretaries of other parties it's sort of like it's a very small group of people who've gone through it before. Mm-hmm. So they usually sort of stick up for each other. And, you have Dana Perino is one of the very few who've done the job and understands where press secretaries from other administrations are coming from. So maybe because it's so fresh that Joe Biden just exited office, but to hear one press secretary criticize another is sort of a rare thing.
Yeah, Jen Psaki criticizing the second lady. That's kind of a rare thing. That's been basically because she's a minority, that she's not respected by her husband, which is just insane. So I think this KJB thing, I thought the Jake Tapper book showed great audacity, and he got blowback, and he should have. But he did a bunch of interviews and defended himself. KJP's on friendly outlets, and she's getting pushback. I think she's probably shocked because she's that much in a bubble to not realize that we saw through what she was saying.
Yeah.
And remember, Admiral Kirby was so much better than her, and she would not step aside. And as a minority lesbian, she was unmovable. Remember?
Well, yeah, it was this really weird dynamic where Karine Jean-Pierre would have to be at the podium, and he would be standing beside her, and then she would sort of be the quarterback of when he would speak. And
crazy.
She wanted to control the podium and control her job, but you may not have liked what Kirby was saying, but he had command of the subject and did have a good voice for the Biden administration, especially on foreign policy topics, which was their absolute, if you could pick one, weakest point.
Afghanistan had to be explained. Ukraine invasion had to be explained. And Gaza had to be explained. And it can't be by KJP, who can't explain that. I was giving her an out as a little bit of an out, because it's been so clear from James Comer's investigation that he was meeting with no one, not sharing any policy, and probably not doing any policy. So if you're the press secretary, you walk out there and you hear these questions and you just make it up.
Yeah. But
But now I don't, because she's saying she met with him all the time.
I know, which is clearly not true. Yeah. And you have to wonder, so we're reflecting on the Biden administration. We're looking backwards right now. And you have to ask, did Democrats learn anything from that experience and the way that they're handling politics today? And I think the answer is no. I mean, you have all these races in Virginia and especially in New Jersey where Mikey Sherrill is, like we said, running against Donald Trump. And clearly that hasn't worked. Mm-hmm. But they're doing it again for these governor's races to make Donald Trump the focus of their race, as opposed to the ideas and the items on the, when it comes to prices and security. They're not talking about that. They're running against Trump again.
I hear you. Carley, a few more minutes with you, and then you get a chance to do what you always do, go to the bars. Oftentimes alone, there's no one in there, and you'll just try to recalibrate.
I know. I do see you passing by the window and going, there she is again.
Yeah, no, I'm still doing radio.
Oh.
You must be seeing somebody else.
Oh, well, that's because I'm drunk.
Yes. Yeah. Or it's very buzzed.
He's kidding.
Back in a moment.
An elite team of technological experts we call the Revengers, to help us trick scammers into revealing their identities and catching them red-handed.
We are hunting down scammers wherever they hide.
Unlock it!
And bringing justice to our victims.
This is Scammed, Getting Even.
And this is all part of a special. on Fox Nation, a brand new series called Scam Getting Even. It premieres today, so you can go. Another reason to get the best streaming service in the country. And with me in studio, if you're watching our stream, Ashton Bingham and Art Kulik. Guys, welcome.
Brian, thanks for having us.
Fresh off your appearance on Fox and Friends.
Yes.
First, tell me how you became somebody that was interested in unmasking the scam.
I think we've both always had a passion for justice.
Right.
We came together as best friends about 15 years ago and both moved to Los Angeles with dreams of being content creators, entertainers. And as I was telling you off camera, we kind of stumbled into it in 2016 when I received a robocall, wasted the guy's time, and the call went crazy.
What was the robocall?
It was one of those fake IRS calls where they're like, hey, you got to pay your taxes, back due taxes, or we're going to come arrest you right now. And I knew it was fake, but I wanted to waste his time and just make a funny video. And it ended up going crazy
So you
viral.
just quickly, you get this call and then you take out your iPhone?
Yeah, I was recording on an old MacBook webcam, like with 4 pixels.
But what made you, like, why were you on your...
I don't know. I think we had already opened, we had actually just opened Trilogy as like a production company, like maybe a month prior.
Right.
And so I had content creation on my mind, but I wasn't thinking this was going to be anything. Like I thought I was going to make a fun Facebook video for my friends.
I remember Ashton, we used to live together. He was my roommate, unfortunately. And one of the morning, he was like grumpy going to the kitchen. He was like, brother, do you receive like these robocalls? They're so annoying. He was like, I'm getting like bombarding 10 phone calls per day. I was like, no, never had one. And he just said something to himself. All right, then maybe I will answer it one day. And
I thought it would last like 3 minutes, and the call was like 50.
And what were they trying to say? Intimidate you to pay them?
Telling them, I'm going to be arrested. You know, classic pressure, gift cards, go to Target, get the thing. I mean, it's very ridiculous on paper. But, you know, of course, since then, we've learned how deep these scams go and how crazy they are. But he was just trying to get money out of me. I was just wasting his time I was playing aloof, just playing dumb, just letting him do his thing. And he got so mad that I wasted almost an hour of his time that he went off, screamed at me. He was taking credit for 9/11. He was like, I'm going to come and kill you. I know you're in California. I'm going to come tomorrow and get you. Like, it actually, at the time, it freaked me out. But I still posted the video, and it went, like, at this point, it's got like 300 million views or something.
300 million?
Yeah.
And then you thought to yourself, what?
Well, you and I were already working on stuff.
Right.
We wanted a platform to be us, entertain people. We had spent many years in Hollywood trying to fit into the boxes that they want to put you in. And we're like, you know what? This is the vehicle right here. This is allowing us to be kind of an Impractical Jokers style of a duo. We can do something that's important to raise awareness about. There's not a lot of this right now. Let's give it a shot. And so we just started making videos together, wasting their time.
At that time, it's such a niche category on YouTube from back in the days till present day. Obviously, community got better. But when we started, it was like 2-3 content creators. And those content creators, you know, hackers, whatever you call them, social engineering people, they would not show the face. So it's like nobody, and especially us, we're so different, and we like, you put us together, some magic happen, and we just like start doing Impractical Jokers and just going with different type of scams and having a lot of fun with it, but also educating, you know, people about this.
Well, so tell me how you play this out. Now, I saw some of the video already. So give me an idea. So what happens is they come after you, or you go after them?
As far as the scammers go, we go after them. And this show in
so
particular,
people can get in touch with you to say, I'm being scammed.
Yeah,
that's right.
And you try to help them.
We're fortunate enough to have built an audience, and now we get inundated with more submissions than we can handle, to be honest. But it's heartbreaking. You read these stories every day, but this show has given us an outlet, a platform for us to be able to, you know, see these victims, interview them, get their story, and actually pursue, with the help of our Revengers in the show, actually pursue the scammers and bring them to justice.
We have public submission right on our YouTube channel, Trilogy Media. So we will go and we will do the interviews. We're going to talk to the victims. We're going to see like what kind of story, and go through the story, meet the victims, and you learn, all right, how did you get scammed? How did you move, like how scammers took your money? And we, you know, follow the money. You're going to find the bad guy. And we learn, and we go either confront, working together with police, do whatever it takes.
Do you get the cops involved?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That started we learned a lot about that over the course of, you know, since 2020, since we've been confronting them in person. We would notice that we'd post a video, and then like a year later, we'd get a call from, you know, U.S. government or an email from .gov. And they'd be like, hey, we're now looking into this thing that you happen to cross over. Can we get your raw footage? Sure, no problem. Now it's gained some traction, especially with the show. We've been able to do collaborative efforts. We're actually seeing more law enforcement take action on scam baits, which is huge. And it's never really been done before. So the fact that they're actually teaming up with us and listening to us, and we just had a federal indictment that was for like a $65 million scam.
Your goal is to get their money back?
That would be nice. It's usually not possible.
That's usually not the case.
And it's out of our hands if it is.
Right. But what we can do, because we have amazing platform and we have amazing fans, we will open GoFundMe for some cases and try to get some money back.
We want to play out the scam.
On a GoFundMe?
Yeah, we've done that a few times. Yeah.
GoFundMes are a big place with a scam?
No, to help victims out.
To help victims.
If they let us tell their story publicly and take the vulnerability that comes with saying that I was a victim to a scam.
So there's categories that we're going to see on the Fox Nation special. Number one, tech support scams.
Yep.
Right.
So we're here to help you, or Apple, or somebody else. So
pop-up scam on your computer.
Can you give me an idea how they lure me in?
It'll come either with a, like you said, a pop-up on your screen. What's really prolific right now is emails with fake invoices attached from companies. They'll impersonate PayPal or Amazon, and they'll send you a receipt for a purchase that you didn't make. And we're like, I didn't make this purchase. It's $500. I don't want to pay for this. And they're encouraging you to call the number back. You call the number back, you get a scam call center, and they're telling you, oh, it must be a mistake. We'll fix it for you. And then they want remote access to your computer. It's a whole social engineering process against the victims. And once they get that access, they have access to your banks, they have access to everything, and they convince you that your money is in jeopardy and you have to move it somewhere else to keep it safe. And that's where the scam comes in.
So was here with Ashton Bingham and Art Kulik, and they have this brand new series on Fox Nation called Scammed, Getting Even. It premieres today, so you can go right now on Fox Nation, but don't leave yet. Art, in particular, for example, if I get lured in and I think that PayPal, for example, someone charged on my PayPal account.
Right.
So I go in and I call the number and I'm saying, oh, you were going to get this fixed. So by the time I'm hit and I lose, let's say, thousands of dollars, I contact you. And then what do you do? Can you possibly bring them out?
Well, you don't have to
track them down. You try to get yourself scammed too?
Right. Well, that's secondary. First, you have to contact FTC, right? You have to file a police report. You have to call your bank, fraud department.
Tell them to do that.
Right. Absolutely. For the victim. Yeah. You have to follow the procedure. Then, again, you do the public submission. You will give us this is what happened to me. This is fake PayPal, Venmo, whatever it was. Then we're going to call. And we're just going to do exactly what happened before. We're going to pretend to be victims, and we're going to learn what happened. And they want to move your money, right? Somebody have to pick up your money. Usually, tech support originates from India. India mafia works really good with Asian mafia here in San Francisco and Bay Area. So scammers are internationally, but somebody have to come to your house, to your grandmother's house, and move that $500,000, 100,000, 50,000, doesn't matter, right? So they will send thugs to your door who are going to say, hey, I'm from the government, Federal Reserve, we need to secure your money. And mafia will take money from your family and going to disappear.
And have you been able to stop this?
Oh, yeah. We're sitting in the bushes with the cameras.
Yeah. It's actually a couple of the episodes are about this scam specifically, and we were able to collaborate with Homeland Security, FBI, and some law enforcement out in Arkansas, and actually stage stings with this exact thing. So we pretend to be old. I put on a mask. I do a pretty good old man voice, and I get them to come to my house and pick up the money. But instead of getting the money, they get handcuffs.
They're going to get arrested.
Here's an example of the intersection trying to stop a scam mid-scam.
It's scam. Let's go.
So we're looking for a scammer, the guy that we're going after. He instructed our victim to send money to you. We'd like to figure out kind of what's going on. So how do you explain that?
Did I respond or anything?
You kept the money.
Yeah, you got the money.
No one sent it back to me.
You get it.
See how that looks really bad, right?
Okay, there's no sense in talking then. There's no sense in talking.
All right.
So bring us up to date. Where was that?
That was in Maryland.
Maryland.
My God, we've been so many places since then. He's a cash mule, allegedly. Cash mule, we were instructed by a Nigerian scammer. Who the scammer that was scamming Anne from that episode was instructing me as who I was playing her grandson, I believe. He believed I was her grandson. I was helping him move her money. He was instructing me to send it to people around the country, and he was one of them.
And you had to go there. And then are cops aware of this at the time when you're doing this?
Oftentimes,
who knows that guy? I looked at some of that video. I'm thinking this guy might have a gun.
Yeah, it's happened.
Absolutely.
So do you call the cops ahead of time?
Not really. At this time, again, for the show, we blessed that we have a bigger budget than YouTube. We have security.
Oh, you have your own?
Yeah. We will have security who will come with us.
Plus, you're a big guy. No one's messing with you.
Well,
yeah, 6'6"?
They'll try, yeah.
6'5", yeah, they will try. You would not believe, again, when it comes to when you have a gun, doesn't matter how big you are, right? You get shot, you get shot. So we still went and we did police report. We still notify police and everything. But we went only with our security and we asked questions. And he knew what happened. We're like, somebody sent you money and you keep that money. You didn't return it. Like, what's wrong with you? And he was like, yeah, well, I was like, how did you find this guy? He was like, I was in the grocery store. He came to me and he said, can I use your Venmo or whatever, PayPal?
Which isn't true.
Yeah.
Which it's a total scam.
Right? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because we sent him the money.
Please tell me he got arrested.
Not yet.
Not yet, but still working on it.
That's the problem. This is a problem we've had over and over and over again, long before we had any law enforcement collaboration. When we're coming in and somebody we know is involved, the law enforcement, I love them to death, but they take forever. And so if it's a case like in Arkansas where we can have a pre-set up operation and we can show the proof of our scam bait and they come to us, they can get arrested on the spot. But when we're coming into a scam that's already happening and we're identifying individuals through our methods, police usually can't or won't just show up and arrest them. They have to take the chain of custody of everything we've collected. They have to investigate it. They get more people involved. It's months down the line. The big federal indictment that just came out a couple months ago from San Diego was from videos we did in 2020. So we confronted these guys in 2020. We confronted like 3 different ones from the same kind of mafia group that we came to learn. Homeland approached us in 21 or 2. We testified in 23, and then we finally learned that they were arrested just a couple months ago. That's how long it takes.
We have more categories of scams. This could help you avoid being a victim. You might have gotten some of these emails, but there's 2 guys taking action, and you're looking at them right now if you're watching the stream, Ashton, Bingham, and Art Kulik. Back in a moment.
Scammers not getting paid today.
Hey, Ashton, this is Austin with the Newark Police Department. I was just over there with you when we found the package. If you could just give me a call back, I'm looking for that video footage of from the Google glasses so we can see if we can get that vehicle into our system and track it down. All right, just give me a call or text me on this number. Thanks. Bye.
Hello.
Hey, Patricia.
Patricia.
Are you doing okay?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, I really, you witness this so many times, but when it's such a shock and it happens so quickly, you have to have some reflective thoughts afterwards.
Absolutely.
And so obviously that's what you go through now.
Yeah.
But the police officer, followed through with, his additional information and.
Good.
Thank God to you guys. I don't know what brought you to that spot at that time.
That was from the YouTube channel of Trilogy, right?
Trilogy Media, yep.
Trilogy Media. That is one of the reasons that Fox Nation has a brand new series called Scam Getting Even. Ashton Bingham and Art Kulik are here. Guys, what was I listening to? Art?
It's actually one of the happy ending story that we ever came across, like as of today. Again, it's complicated, but basically, make story short, we will send a baiting package that is like fake, right? And we're gonna wait until Cashmill gonna show up and pick up the package, like allegedly stolen money. When we showed up, it was our package that arrived, empty box, and it was package on a perch with $25,000 with a real victim from Amazon, right? I believe
Amazon or PayPal. Yeah,
Amazon or PayPal. So, and it was returning address. So we immediately Googled the address, the cell phone number. So we'll call Patricia and we're like, Patricia, did you talk to Amazon, PayPal recently? She was like, no. I was like, Patricia, there is money right now sitting, and we see it. And then we can hear that there is scammer talking to Patricia, saying, do not talk to them. Hang up. So she got brainwashed, but finally she came to realizing that she just sent $25,000 to pay for whatever she want to pay, and we literally holding her package in our hands.
We called the cops, and they came and seized the money and got it back to her.
Wow. And what was the first? We were hearing the cops call and inquire for
so that was after the interaction. He wanted, we had camera glasses and stuff. We have hidden cameras. Yeah. Yeah, well, they're not Google brand, but we have they're really old. They're not working too well. We need to get new ones. But we record everything, obviously, so we have people that are walking around and the whole interaction. He wanted the raw footage of that to be able to put in his report, which we always provide, of course.
We showed up 2 minutes before thugs showed up to pick up that money, that stolen money from elderly people. And we saw that cash mule in the corner show up with a package. They collect 10, 20 packages per day. And we said, not today. This package, this money going back to the victim.
How did you know to show up there?
Throughout the scam bait, when we're pretending to be victims, and we were collabing on this one, they give us instructions on where the victim is supposed to send the money. In this case, it was to an address. Came to find out that address was vacant. So they do that sometimes. Sometimes the cash mule lives there. Sometimes it's vacant. packages get dropped off, and then somebody will come and just scoop it up. And they know they go on, Zillow or whatever, they'll find vacant residences and they'll use them. So in this case, lots of scammers were sending it to this door, and ours just happened to arrive at the exact same moment as Patricia's actual money. And you could spot it from a mile away because they tell you to wrap it in a bunch of duct tape. So we saw it, and we're like, that's a scam. That's a scam package. 100%, we call the cops. And
Could I throw some scams at you and you tell me how it goes down? Debt collection scams. Give me an idea. Like, how would do I get hit by an email? Is it a phone call?
All of the above for those. Debt
do
collection.
They usually know your debt on your credit card, and is that what hit home?
They know more than you'll want them to know, especially with like public databases, and if they can get a hold of your email or God forbid your social security number, they can run credit checks, and that's what I think. Honestly, I think everybody should have their credit locked unless you're going to use it. But yeah, they'll use that against you. They'll advance fee scams, same thing. They'll get you to try to pay something up front in hopes of helping you get out of a bad situation, and then just disappear.
Virtual kidnapping. You mean, I have your son, I have your daughter, I need a scam.
It's actually one of those scams.
And AI can do the voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why we literally just had this conversation. What happened to you?
They tried to get my grandma with that one. Yeah, they impersonated my voice. They called my grandma. This is a number of years back. But they said, my grandma would call me AJ. They said, hey, grandma, it's AJ. I'm in Mexico. I just got arrested for DUI. I need bail money right now. And she didn't know what to do. Thankfully, she called my aunt, who verified it with me that wasn't true. But unfortunately, lots of people do fall for it.
And with AI, they can totally
with AI right now, it's absolutely, this is catastrophe.
But what do you recommend if that happens to somebody?
Well, first of all, you need to set up a password between
Set up a password.
Password, right. Only like you have kids, right?
Yeah.
So something only your kids know, something between you and kids. So if you call, somebody impersonates you and they're going to call your kids and ask for something, you can throw that question, hey, Dad, what's this and this? So it has to be only between family members.
All right. So check out their series. It's now on Fox Nation. It is called Scammed, Getting Even. And that's what they try to do for everybody if they can get to you in time. Ashton, Bingham, Art Kulik, it's a win-win. Great series, great TV, and you're helping people.
Thank you, Brian.
Nice
Thank
job.
you so much. Really appreciate that.
Brian Kilmeade Show. Keep it here.